Bullshit! Oh no. Imagine getting wiped by a fucking bay leaf. Oh god. So NUZLOCKing, a Pokemon skill that intrigues many Pokemon players, including myself. And over the past few months since my last video, I've become much better at it. So much better in fact, that just yesterday I beat the Johto part of SoulSilver in just under 11 hours, and today I'm gonna teach you how to do it as well. Since the people that watch me have the attention span of a goldfish, let's start with the Elite 4 team and their movesets. The team consists of Typhlosion, Rhydon, Hitmonchan, Hypno, Magneton, and Gyarados. Typhlosion is your starter. Bring him with Flamethrower, Lava Plum, and for coverage, use TM's Dig and Shadow Claw. The magic card for Gyarados I get from the Ilex Forest. He will start with Aqua Tail, Ice Fang, Fly, Dragon Rage, but he will learn Dragon Dance later on in the fights. Drowsy from Route 34, ensure it by Repel encountering at level 12, and when evolved into Hypno, bring Psybeam and use TM's Rest and Shadow Ball. Magnemite from either Route 38 or 39, Repel at level 16, with Discharge, Mirror Shot, Thunder Wave, and Magnet Rise. Hitmonchan is evolved from Kyogre, a gift Pokemon from beating this guy in Mount Motor. Teach Hitmonchan TM Drain Punch, and he will naturally get Sky Uppercut, Thunder Punch, and Ice Punch. Rhydon evolves from Rhyhorn from Victory Road by Repel encountering at level 35. It will enter the Elite 4 with Fury Attack, Hammer Arm, Rock Blast, and Horn Drill. But during the Elite 4 fights, he will learn Stone Edge and Earthquake. This team has so many options and good enough coverage that you will always be able to adapt a strategy for each member and lanes. And without further ado, let's get back into the video where I will take you through Johto gym by gym. So when picking your starter, there's only two real choices, and that is between Totodile and Cyndaquil. Chikorita is just bad overall in stats and move pool, but also bad in everything you face in the Johto region. Now, between Totodile and Cyndaquil, I suggest you pick Cyndaquil. The main reason being that Totodile is a water type, and there are so many good water types that you can replace him with, compared to how many good fire types there are in this region. And on top of that, Cyndaquil is also going to be part of your Elite 4 team. Now, the first gym is a flying gym, where you're going to be facing a level 9 Pidgey and a level 13 Pidgeotto. Because of the level cap at level 13, your Cyndaquil doesn't really get that strong before needing to face this gym. That is why I would recommend you to go get a rock type. You can do this in two ways at this stage in the game. You can either go in Dark Cave and try for a Geodude, or you can trade with an Onix inside the city where the flying gym is. In my Nuzlocke, I allow myself to go catch a Bellsprout even though it's not my first encounter in order to trade for the Onix. Geodude and Onix almost learn the exact same moves at the exact same level and has very similar stats. The only reason I personally go for the Onix is because after I beat the gym with the Onix, I can then go to the ruins and get a Geodude encounter there, and then in the Dark Cave encounter, I can then save to get a Zubat later, so I don't have to get in other caves where I can get better Pokemon in those caves. The second gym is a bug type gym. Do I even need to go over this one? It is actually a little bit scary because it has a level 17 Cypher. Alongside it, it has a level 15 Metapod and a level 15 Kakuna. Because of Cypher's flying typing, he will get destroyed by any rock throw you throw at him. And so will the rest of the bugs, because bugs are also weak to rock. A little tip before you get to the second gym. I suggest that you repel through Union Cave, because in there you have a guaranteed Lapras later on. And that will be very useful for some of the later gyms. Ah yes, the normal gym, featuring a level 17 Clefairy and the notorious run ender, the Milk Tank at level 19. But I have found a strategy that makes this gym laughably easy, and the key ingredient is the headbutt that you can get inside the Ilex Forest. Headbutt can be used outside of battle to headbutt trees, allowing for special encounters to appear. Think of it as like the honey trees in Sinnoh, but actually fun to use. In many areas, you can use headbutt to encounter Apipom, Pharaoh, or the most important one, Heracross. Heracross is bug fighting, and would you know it, at level 19 it learns Brick Break, making the normal gym very easy. By first headbutting inside the Azalea town to get the Apipom, then go into the route right before the Slowpoke well, and then headbutting, you will either have a Pharaoh here, or if you're lucky, you can get the Heracross already here. If you're unlucky, which I've been every single time, you need to go back to the starting area. In the first route, you can then go up through a gate and into another area where you're now guaranteed a Heracross if you headbutt the trees. Now the Ghost Gym, but before that you have a rival fight, and once again it's the Conquercraw who is the real worry on his team. But this time around you can have a very hard counter to his starter in Magnemite, which you can get on route 38. I suggest that you repel and counter this at level 16 because that removes the likelihood of getting a Taurus or a Miltank, and if you get anything else in a Magnemite, just go to the route 39 and do the same thing there and hope and pray that it shows up, because it's also going to be part of your Elite 4 team. After defeating your rival, it is on to the Ghost Gym, and it is actually pretty easy to defeat. You most likely have a Pharaoh or another type of normal type that will also learn dark type moves. For most of the fights, you will either one-shot them and outspeed them because you're higher level than them, and for his ace Pokemon, the Gengar, you just don't attack him and let him use his 5 sucker punches, and then he can't hit you because you are normal typing. And now for the fighting gym with a level 28 Primeape and a level 32 Whirlpool. This small team is very easy to beat. You can either bring a Slowpoke that you can get from the Slowpoke well, which you can actually ensure if you got in the Zubat from the Dark Cave in the beginning, or you can ensure a Drowsy by repelling countering on the daycare route right before Goldenrod City, or you can be a scumbag like me and then scam the shit out of the guy in Goldenrod City who's gambling in the Voltorb game and then buy yourself an Abra. For the Steel Gym, you're facing 2 level 30 Magnetons and 1 level 35 Steelix. And in here you can just sweep the entire gym using your Heracross if it's still alive. If it's not alive, you have to be a little more creative, but it's still very easy. Just deal with the 2 Magnetites with perhaps your Grappler that can use Earthquake or Magnitude, which it has. And for the Steelix, you just use a Water type and surf it. After sleeping through the Team Rockets fight, you need to face the Ice Gym, which consists of a Seal, a Defgong, and a Pillowswine. 2 Seals you can easily deal with the Magnemite because they do very little damage to him and they have a weakness to electric types. But after one of the Seals is defeated, they will probably switch in with Mamoswine, which has Mud Bomb that is super effective against your Magnemite. Here I suggest that you switch in with Gyarados because it would use Mud Bomb, and Mud Bomb can't hit Gyarados because of its flying typing. Here I suggest that you just switch out once again because Gyarados at this point don't have any good damaging water type moves against the Pillowswine, but just switch it into another water type you might have. This can come in many forms, but I like to pick up the Lapras you get in the Union Cave before all of this happens. And now yet again you're in a very boring part of the game where you need to face a lot of Team Rocket people. This time, however, you need to face 4 bosses as well. 3 of these are pretty easily if you just bring whatever psychic type you have. This can come in the form of a Hypno, an Abra Kadabra, or the Slowpoke. Alongside them, I would suggest you bring your starter and your Golem, and then maybe a sacrificial Pokemon if you need to switch in a pinch. Except for the last fight, which consists of a Houndoom. To defeat this Houndoom, I usually bring a Gyarados, and at this point you're allowed to get your Gyarados to level 35 and get that Aqua Tail, which will be easily taken care of with the Houndooms. The last gym you're facing is a Dragon Gym. Here you're meeting a level 38 Gyarados and 2 level 38 Dragonairs and 1 level 41 Kingdra. The Kingdra here being the worst Pokemon to deal with in the entire run. To deal with the Gyarados, which he starts out with, just bring any electric type that will do. I usually bring the last evolution of Mareep and just take care of it in one hit because it is 4 times weak to electric. For the 2 Dragonairs, I usually bring out a Lapras and then Ice Beam them to death. And for the Kingdra, I go for the cheesy strat of using Parry Song. But if you don't want to do that, I'm pretty sure that you can just bring 2 more electric types that can slowly bring it down. But I think you should set your mind to them being sacrificial Pokemon, because you can't really outspeed it or outdamage it, and therefore you will take a lot of punishment because you have to switch in all the time because you're of course playing on set mode. And after that you have to pick up the Master Ball and then fight the Eevee Girls. The Eevee Girls are pretty easy to deal with if you just bring counters to each and every single fight you need to face. To take care of the Dark type, I usually bring Heracross because of the fighting timing. And to take care of the Psychic type, I don't stay out with the Heracross, but then switch it into a sacrificial normal type with a good Dark type move. For instance, in this case, it was a Persian. The Fire type, I just bring any Water type really. For the Electric type, I just bring any Ground type. And for the last Water type, I just bring any Electric type. And then you're on to catch Lugia. And if you don't want to catch it, you can just kill it pretty easily. It's not a very tough fight. But if you want to catch it, I actually have a perfectly fitted team to do that. In order to catch this Lugia, you start out with Shuckle that will use Gastro Acid on it, removing its hidden ability that takes away from your PPs. Then you switch into whatever Pokemon you bring. Bring some very small hitting Pokemon to get it low. Once it's low, switch in with the Slowpoke. So I like to yawn it to sleep. The reason why I do this instead of paralyzing right away is because it can actually die to struggle, and I've tried that before. Once I run out of yawns and healing moves on my Slowpoke, I will then switch into an electric type, then paralyze it, and then bring out another tank that I brought that can also heal. In this instance, it's a Seaking. But you can also experience that all this setup that takes around half an hour was a waste of time because you catch it in the second round you throw a ball. Could give me a few extra turns in the late game. All this prep. All right, don't be mad that it went well. And there you have it.
Raindrops are falling on my head, and just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed, nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling.